There's a lot of Johns out there.
The pretty normal
I
name.
think a top 10 most popular name in the world.
It's in the Bible.
It's
Mohammed. It's the most popular name in the world.
Yeah, I didn't say John was the most popular. I said a top 10, Kyle.
It's
Iba.
Muhammad. So
Yeah,
Is that still true?
I would
yeah,
guess, yeah.
100%.
I would assume so.
Because you got to think as white people progress, we're reusing names a lot less. We're getting things like
Well, they're also becoming the minority.
I don't know what this word shit is. All right, are you Mexican or not? Stick to a fucking script, bro.
Facts.
I didn't say
bread.
Yeah, you did. You said a word.
So they're also becoming the
No,
minority.
you said where?
True, when you're editing this, you're going to hear me say there. So, whatever.
I think we heard what we heard.
You are now listening to the SpaceBar.
Been a bad month for comedians.
Oh my god. It's
Facts.
been an even worse month for comedian fucking hecklers, I guess. That's what we're called. Assaulters, perhaps. One of them's a social pariah, and the next one is
One of them checked into rehab. The other one looks like Mojo Jojo.
facts.
Mojo.
Powerpuff
Jojo.
Girls. Stomp that man.
I was watching a report on it. So for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, last night Dave Chappelle got kind of like somebody attempted to attack him while he was on stage. They like half tackled him, and then got up and ran backstage, and then they proceeded to stomp the fuck out of him backstage, and like broke his arm, and his arm's like all like there's a picture of him getting loaded into an ambulance, and his arm's like completely backwards. And earlier, when we were talking about it in the group chat, I was thinking, that's like excessive force. Like, I don't know about all that. And then I was watching some stuff on it, and it turns out he had like a fake gun and a knife with him. So I was like, oh, I guess so maybe that was appropriate force.
Yeah. I feel like anytime someone assaults somebody else and then a third party responds, any force is allowable, right? If you're gonna go on the edge, if you're gonna go outside the parameters of normal acceptable social behavior while interacting with other individuals, like especially in a physical manner, then the way you're basically giving up your rights to be treated in an equal and acceptable manner in a physical confrontation.
Well, not really, because like you can get charged for excessive force. Like, there's a thing as appropriate force. Like, that's a real legal like thing. Like, you can't, if someone slaps you, you can't shoot them in the face and be like, "Ha! You broke this social agreement. You're dead now." Like, you're still getting charged for murder for that one.
I mean, yeah,
Unless you're a cop.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All of that is completely subject to situational and interpretational boundaries as well. Because you say that, and obviously, if a 25-year-old man and slaps another 25-year-old man and he shoots him, like everybody's like, yeah, that was pretty unnecessary. But if a 25-year-old, 6'2", 300-pound dude slaps a 72-year-old old lady and she shoots him, like people can be like, yeah, she could have easily been murdered by that person, right?
I mean, yeah, it's
100%.
But
like
for sure.
A guy that I went to high school with, I guess like this old white dude had called him the N-word, and he...
And for the viewers that are listening, what word is that?
Yeah, Drew, what word is it?
I'll say it. Don't tempt me.
I know you'll say
I
it.
will not hesitate.
Are you gonna bleep it?
Nope.
Then no. Anyway, so he rocked his shit, but he was an old gay white guy, and he died. He died in the hospital. He just got punched once in the face, but he was elderly and died. And he got charged
that was
with,
literally
like,
a
manslaughter.
fucking. Well, there was a dude that happened to like a FedEx driver. Is that the dude that you're talking about?
No, this was someone I went to high school with.
Oh shit, that happened. Like, there was a news story not that long ago that like there was a Yeah, FedEx.
White people
dude
just
called
be
the
saying
FedEx
the
driver
N word,
the-
bro. I mean, I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, he called him the N word, and the FedEx driver like hit him when the guy fell and like hit his head or something and died. And they were like, "Yeah, like that guy. I don't know if he got charged or not. Like from the articles and stuff that I saw, it didn't seem like he got charged. Like it seemed like he was provoked, and it wasn't necessarily like it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Everybody gets
But I
charged.
guess that's like
Per the law, if you're involved in a situation where someone dies, you're charged with manslaughter. So if I get in a car, but you're not always indicted. I think it's the word. Like you go to see a judge, and the judge decides whether the case has enough merits to be taken to court.
Right.
But if someone dies, the charge is brought. Right. So if I'm in my car and I get into an accident and someone dies, I get charged with manslaughter. And then the case is reviewed in an indictment, and then it's decided whether it has any merits for the charge to be carried forward into a trial or not.
I want to say that's what a grand jury is like people deciding whether or not something is going to go to trial.
I don't know.
But
But I do know
there's a specific thing for that.
they told us that in my concealed handgun carry, because no matter what, like even if it's a clear cut case of self defense,
Right.
in the moment after you kill somebody, you're still charged with manslaughter, and then
And your weapon is confiscated.
when they review the case, they can rule that it was self defense, and then the charges are dropped. Right, you're acquitted of the charges. But backpedaling, I definitely don't condone any racial anything ever, but I do think that verbal confrontation shouldn't be an acceptable way for someone to escalate to violence, right? I don't think that should be a valid excuse, right? Like if someone I definitely don't think people should be able to do it, and maybe there should be some sort of, maybe misdemeanor or fine, right, for hateful speech, or
Right.
maybe there is already, right? But
I don't know. That seems like a whole freedom of speech thing.
in the freedom of speech, you can't part of the freedom of speech is that you can't directly threaten someone, right?
Can't like yeah, I guess.
you can't.
Yeah.
You cannot.
necessarily-
You
Can't
can't
like
legally.
incite violence and
Oh,
shit.
It's like
Yeah,
the
racial
it's like the
slurs
bomb in an
and calling
airport
and
thing,
threatening,
right?
you know.
So
Right?
Well, you're presenting a threat. It's like
that's what I'm saying.
calling somebody the N word is not presenting a threat.
I mean,
Other than to yourself.
that's what I'm saying. And once again, that's all interpretational, right?
I don't know. That's too gray of an area. I feel like where you could find
Yeah,
a definite.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
feel like that's definitely situational.
But I get what you're saying.
yeah. But yeah, I was just trying to make sure that everybody understood that I don't think that people should
Right.
just be allowed to say stuff like that. But I
Right.
don't think people should be able to freely respond with that in violence. It's not the same, right? As if someone
Right.
slaps you or pushes you, obviously you should have the right to respond in kind.
I think as a community, we should all just try to figure out a trigger word for white people. That way, whenever a white person uses a slur, we can hit him back with it, and then it will have equal effect.
There's not really any
There's,
good slurs
there's
for
literally
for the
almost
whites.
no good slurs for white people.
That's the title of today's episode.
No good slurs for white people.
That is it right there.
But it's
The problem
true.
is, I feel like the problem is that at some point they would just embrace it, right? Like there would be a
Hey,
percentage.
look at
of,
black people.
You
I
say
mean,
that,
first
but,
of all,
I think-
I want to clarify that there's no good slur.
There was-
but I don't think that there's really. I think that is the biggest slur. There's not really anything to that's going to get worse than that. So it's all working downhill from there. If anybody ever calls me a beaner or a spick, it's just okay, not a big deal. But I completely understand the rage of if somebody called you the N word, I would understand how angry that would make you. But for it's just there's not the same oomph to those words, I guess, for us.
There's
I
also
don't
not
know.
the same history.
Facts.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
saying.
N-word
Is
is also,
there's not
it's a multicultural. It's an international word. Okay,
Yeah,
It's
for
something
sure.
that like even Koreans have a word for that word in their language. Like, why is that? You know? So it's one of those things that just hits a little different, especially when you're a person of color.
It's like I guess the only thing the closest you could get to calling like the closest
Hmm?
thing that there is to a white person's N word is calling a white lady a cunt, and that's
Facts.
even then that's
They
like
take that
regional.
shit to heart, bro.
Yeah,
Like he just turned
they
around and
get
called me N-word,
ma-
honestly.
Yeah.
That's actually a very good point. That's one of my favorite curse words too.
It's a solid one.
Yes.
Are we calling
But I feel
cunt
like
a curse word?
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
Cunt,
But the strength of
yes.
that word,
To Americans,
it's
at
dying.
least.
You mean you didn't learn that in your anatomy class? Wild.
The strength of that word is dying. Yeah, it's becoming
For
more
sure.
and more of an everyday word, but it used to be like an S tier.
Bro, you
word.
call a boomer a cunt? It's gonna get wicked.
Yeah, I remember like
Oh my
yeah,
god.
that's like the worst of the worst. That's actually a really good point. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket.
Just right there. I'm gonna
Don't let me
that
pull
bad
it
boy.
out, Karen.
Yep.
Swear to God, it's actually funny whenever like you see. I haven't experienced this personally, but when like white people get upset when you call them Karens or whatever when they're being Karens, or what's the male equivalent? Sorry, this is a very hateful podcast
Kim?
right now. To all my white
Also-
viewers, I apologize. I'm half white. It's okay. Actually, we have 1.5 white people up in this. We have 2 white people, don't we? Aren't you half
No,
white?
just one
Kyle?
and a
One
half.
and a half.
Eric's Indian.
Yeah, Eric's Indian.
Oh, you're Indian. That's right. That's right.
Brown and brown, baby. It makes brown.
You know what they say? Brown and brown makes brown.
That's a fact. It's going on a shirt.
That's UPS's new slogan.
What can brown plus brown equals brown do for you?
Brown. That's the name of the podcast episode.
Brown.
Brown.
Shout out to the
No.
Brown twins. No, but I think Karen is unisexual because I refer to men as Karens all the time whenever I see videos like that.
I think it's like kin though. Like there is a male.
it is.
Yeah.
Nobody
It's not as popular,
uses
but
it.
it's
Yeah, no one does
it's
use
not
it.
as
They
popular.
must look like
Yeah, because it's
a post on social media or something. But people are not here calling kins fucking kin.
Yeah, I feel like immediately when I hear the word kin, it's all connotation of Barbie for me. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
pretty boys,
No
plasticky,
balls.
No
rich,
balls,
white,
for sure.
blonde dudes, like Skip's Legs Day.
definitely wearing boat shoes.
Yeah, but boat shoes are super comfy. I don't own a pair right now, but I need to buy
I
another
don't think I've
pair.
ever owned a pair of boat shoes in my
They're
life.
so
I never
convenient
either.
and comfortable.
I would
In
say
what
loafers are
way?
probably super convenient and comfortable. Isn't boat shoes are like a deluxe whatever word
Loafer?
I just said? Loafer?
I'm
thank you.
not a foot covering connoisseur enough to know the
No, 'cause I don't think
the
loafers
finite
don't have-
differences
No
between
shot. You just
boat
called shoes foot coverings.
I think boat shoes are like actually meant for boats, but like they gained popularity around
No, for sure. That's why they call boat shoes.
whatever.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
obviously. Thank you. Loafers don't have shoelaces, right? Like they're just slip-ons.
They can
Yeah.
have the laces
Like, they just
aren't
have, like, the-
used to tighten the shoe. They're decorative.
Yeah.
Because a lot of boat
Yeah.
shoes do have like
They have tassels usually.
yeah, tassel's a good word for it.
Yeah.
And it also makes
very
me think that I'm riding a bicycle.
Thanks.
That's what they're called, right? The strings
Little
hang from
things,
the
yeah,
side
those are tassels.
of the
Yeah.
handlebars.
Yeah. I think those are also like another word for pom-poms is tassels, like the different pom-poms.
Also,
The
can we?
long, stringy ones.
While we're thinking, while I have tassels on the brain, can we just dive into how I don't understand? One of my biggest things that I never understood is how giant, tough, big 6-foot burly men that ride motorcycles think that little leather strings on their pants and on their bicycle and their motorcycles waving in the wind is tough as shit.
What's deeper is why is leather so tough? I don't know why
Leather-
the leather is so tough.
Well, the leather's
No, their leather though. I get like a nice leather jacket. It's like some what's his name? James Dean shit. But like
It's because you've never ridden a motorcycle. So before like advancements in manufacturing, right? And like stitching and stuff, right? When you ride a motorcycle, the wind is hitting you at high speeds. And if you're in somewhere like flat and like desert area, right, there's going to be sand in that. There's going to be dirt in that. It's going to be a coarse wind, right? And so what the leather does is protect you from the high speed wind and the particulates in it. Nowadays, right, the level at which we can manufacture like jackets and things of that nature, right? You can get a non-leather jacket that protects you as well, but a lot of that back in the day is leather was the best way to protect you from the elements.
So
I
all
prefer
I
my
got
It
leather
from
also
that,
helps if you like. It also helps like if you fall, so you don't just fucking sandpaper your skin down. Like,
so all I
Very
got
durable.
from that was get with the times, motorcyclists, because we have the technology.
Boomers.
for sure. I mean, there's a lot. I feel like that's mostly a Harley people or like a cruising bike.
Yeah, and it's
people
cringe.
thing.
Is my point.
For sure.
It just became a staple, right? That was just the thing now.
When I think Harley now, I think
leather
it's
jacket's
Trumpers.
sick. I like a nice leather jacket.
That's what I'm saying. A nice leather jacket is like James Dean, like classy.
You mean like
yet
compared to
still
like
street.
the leather vests?
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I'm talking about
okay.
like leather vests, leather chaps,
Or the tank tops.
or the tank. Yeah, that's just weird. And like, no,
Noted.
you're into some kinky shit, bro. You just aren't aware of it yet.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, unless you're not true with yourself. Then it's kind of weird. I bet you would have sucked my dick, gay boy. No, unless you want it. How was y'all's boycation?
It was lit. Got lit. It was a good time. Had some good food. Had a seafood boil. That was pretty fire. Got
What did y'all
hammered.
do? Where did you go? Because I never understood where y'all
Went
went.
to New Orleans.
Nolans.
Yeah, Nolans. Yep. Got off the plane. What happened? We got off the plane, got an Uber to the Airbnb. Oh, we couldn't even get in there yet, so we didn't have
That's
one
where
to-
we Uber though, because our Airbnb was in downtown. It was like 2
Yeah.
blocks south of Bourbon,
Sick.
so we walked everywhere.
Threw your bags over the fence.
No,
It wasn't a house, my guy. We were in downtown.
a condo.
We were on the 7th floor of a condo.
He
But-
could be an up situation. Don't. I mean, remember that movie, guys? All right.
Could be. Could be. I'm just happy the balloons didn't pop, honestly.
It's not all that didn't pop.
So did you guys eat a lot of food and shit? I'm assuming that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you do when you're in New Orleans. That's all I would want to do, and get blackout drunk.
We did 3 things: we drank, we ate, and we went to go see the World War II museum.
Oh, sick!
That was crazy. It was crazy. Cool.
A giant museum, 8 hours easy. Like
It was
we
massive.
we blocked 3 hours for it because we were like, yeah, museum 3 hours, like that's a solid amount of time. Like it's 2 giant buildings. There's a theater in one of the buildings with an hour-long presentation. There's 4 different segments of the building, and it's all brand. I don't know about brand new, but it's very
It's
well.
pretty new,
It's
yeah.
very well kept, right?
There's
if it's
like
not
a
brand
train that has like a immersive
Interact- yeah,
interactions.
Like
It's
a war
crazy.
train,
yeah, like an old school train.
like an armor train. I guess is what I'm looking more for.
I think it was just.
Did they use that World War One? I think that was World War One.
Armored trains,
Yeah, I just know that because of Battlefield. Thanks, gaming.
solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're ever going to New Orleans and you're wondering how much time you need to go through the World War II museum, I would say minimum, like if you didn't really take in everything, probably 5 hours, right? And if you want to get like,
pretty
if you want to read every single thing, and like some of the things are like little pods, right? So you have to like wait like for the people in front of you to finish so you can get in, and then you like get little immersive experiences, right? Which you can, like, we had to skip a lot of those just for a time thing. But if you want to do like every single one of those, watch every single video, like in all the little areas, you know, do all the little interaction things. They have a lot of like tabletop, like touchscreen interaction things. I would say a solid 8 hours, like open to close.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool. They have a lot. Like obviously they're gonna have a lot, but I didn't really think that they would have as much just like World War II time era like things, right? Like they have like jeeps and fucking U-boats. Like when you walk in and you look to the left, there's an
Giant
immediate like
airplanes.
huge U-boat. Like it's nuts.
Yeah. And then like all hanging from the ceiling are giant. Like there's 2 buildings. We went through the whole first building. That took us 3 hours. The first building is smaller than the second building because the first building only has 1 section, and then there's 3 more sections in the second building. And it took us a solid 3 hours. Now I would say if the immersion level is 100% where you intake everything, I would say we probably did a solid 80, right? We
Yeah.
read a lot of it, we looked at a lot of stuff, like anything interesting, like we took a second and we talked about it, right? So you can walk through the museum in probably 2 hours, right? But
Yeah.
if you want to absorb anything, right, I would say minimum 6 hours. But also they have like passes, right? So you can buy, like, if you're in New Orleans for a while, you can get a pass, right? And you can do like a couple hours every day, right? I don't know what people usually do. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back.
I kind of like did the I did the same but opposite of that when I went to Denver, to their science and space museum,
That's lit.
or not science and space. It wasn't space. It was I wanted to go see a bunch of dinosaurs, so I went and saw a bunch of dinosaurs, and
Could be dinosaurs.
it
in
took
space.
me fucking a hot. I wish that'd be sick. I was there for like a hot minute, but they also had like one section that was all about like the brain and shit, where like you could go and like do different tests
Those are
for
super cool.
different types of shit. Is like a lot of interactive shit. Is pretty tight.
Interactive museums are the best.
I
Yes.
think that's no.
The Perot is super good in Dallas.
agreed.
If you're a local podcast listener, if you've never been to the Perot in Dallas, it's a super nice museum, and I would recommend. It's
Just try
a
and
pretty
go
fun
on.
date too. They have like food there, and a lot of it is stuff you can do together, right?
I would say go later in the day because the field trips are during the summer.
You should look. I would call and be like,
They probably have like summer programs.
God,
Yo,
'cause
do you
every
have
time
any-
I go, it seems there are fucking 17,000 kids there. I'm like,
That's
if you
where
don't
they
get
make
the
their
fuck
money, I
off
feel
this
like.
xylophone, I'm trying to play this shit now. Timmy.
Trying to not be weird in the kids exhibits. Just like
Speaking
I
of
also
s-
want to pretend like I'm in a giant or a tiny grocery store. All right, so
Facts.
just let me.
Have any of
What do
you
you
all seen
think,
the
Al?
TikTok about the sun not being on fire while we're talking about like aerospace and shit? So it's pretty interesting. I'm probably gonna butcher this, right? Because I'm gonna wing it from the top of my head, right? So the baseline of it, right? The too long didn't read is obviously the sun can't be burning and on fire because there's no oxygen in space, right?
yeah, true.
So it would be impossible for the fire to be sustainable because fire is literally a result of turning oxygen into carbon monoxide or dioxide.
Yes.
Monox-
Yeah. Into whatever fire turns into, whatever the carbon mon or dioxide is, dioxide, right?
More of a switch, honestly.
Yeah. So obviously, point of the story is like it kind of clicks after you see the whole presentation. Like, yeah, it totally makes sense that the sun's not on fire because there is no air in space, right? So fire is like combustion, right? So the way that the sun is emitting energy is through the pressure, right? There's so much mass in the sun that the gravitational field is so strong that it's pushing the atoms of the sun together at such an incredible pressure that it's creating the heat, right? So like think of like metal, right? When you can compress metal and it becomes hot.
Heats up. Yeah.
Yes, right. So that's essentially what's happening to the sun is there's so much mass in such a small space relatively, right? Compared to the mass, right? The amount of mass versus the amount of space makes it a small space for that amount of mass, right? That creates a gravitational force so strong that essentially the sun is a spherical hydraulic press mushing all of the atoms together, which is creating
so it's just a big
fission.
ass nuclear reaction.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't know about.
that's crazy.
I would say
I'm
I don't
just
know if nuclear
confused.
reaction is the true term, but it's compression creating energy. I don't know.
I
what
thought
that
the sun
means.
was just
Gives
a
off
bunch of
radiation.
plasma.
I think it's like thermodynamics. Isn't that what that is? Or some shit? Or
So
is it something
nuclear specifically, I actually learned this at the World War II Museum because World War II was the era of the Manhattan Project, which is when Oppenheimer created.
If you're going
the-
to talk about fusion versus fission, we had that conversation on the
I'm not. I'm talking that
Oh, okay.
nuclear, right? Eric was calling it nuclear energy. So for it to be nuclear energy, what is happening is the nucleus of atoms are hitting each other. And that's why it's called nuclear, because the nucleuses
Right.
are interacting.
I too was
Nuclei.
there for that presentation.
Mhm.
It was solid. I can specifically remember the atom splitting.
To your sun theory.
I don't think that's a theory, but
All
I
science
feel
is
like
theory.
there is because I don't know. Yeah, everything is theory. I don't know. Well, like you saying the sun's not on fire, I feel like is definitely like I feel like that was like maybe like a Hank Green, like technically it's not what you think it is, but like it's basically what you think it is, just not technically what you think it is, you know?
well,
But
fire. is-
also, I just say, like when people say there's no oxygen in space, like when referencing the sun specifically, does the sun not have an atmosphere? Like, doesn't every planet have an atmosphere? So
Well, it's not a planet.
to say there's no
It's a
fire in
star.
space, the Earth is in space. Well, either way, it's like that's what I'm saying. Is like for if there's no fire in space, Earth is in space. The fuck do you mean there's no fire in space?
I mean,
like
I don't know the scientific definition of atmosphere, but if you really break down the word, it's atoms and sphere. So I would say that it's the conditions surrounding a sphere of atoms, right?
I think it's atmos and sphere, as an atmosphere.
Well, what does
I think
atmos stand for?
I don't know. It's got to be Greek or something though.
Or
Let's see.
Latin.
Oh, probably yeah. Atmos definition. Atmos. Oh, is gaseous. The gaseous envelope surrounding the. Wait, no.
okay, so I googled if the sun had an atmosphere, and it does. It says the photosphere, chromosphere, and coronosphere or corona are all a part of the sun's atmosphere. The corona is sometimes casually referred to as the sun's atmosphere, but it is actually the sun's upper atmosphere. Okay. I hate science sometimes.
Atmos means vapor or smoke.
Hmm.
Because clouds.
Yeah.
So I would say that atmosphere is what the elemental composition of the gaseous space around any given point.
Yeah. Like I always thought, I mean, I'm obviously not a fucking scientist and I'm not that
A
smart.
scientist would definitely wear that
but,
shirt, though.
It's a nice shirt.
That's a scientist shirt.
I definitely
Hold on,
thought
hold your
that
thought,
like
Nathan. Just hold it 5 seconds.
Clear view of the dick chair.
it's a tortilla.
I know, but when it's wrapped around a chair in a cylinder style manner, it looks a lot like
It goes.
a cock with freckles. I don't think I have any
Freckles.
freckles on my cock. Cockles is the name of the episode.
No shut, you guys are just randomly chilling with a lab coat.
Continue, sir.
I always assumed that the sun's atmosphere was just made up of a bunch of gas, like that continuously sustained the fire.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but the entire star is gas. That's what differentiates a star from a planet, is that the entirety of the sun is gas. I'm almost positive. You can fact check me on that one, but
Well, he's wearing
think-
the lab coat, so I'm gonna go with Nathan.
Yeah, so
Shut.
If he had his glasses on, he would look more like
that's
a
dude.
doctor. So.
tax. That'd be a sweet TikTok channel if I was like a tax professional. I
Backward
could
tax,
be
dude.
the tax dude, Korean
Oh.
tax dude.
I feel like there's probably a good
'Cause
150 of those accounts already.
There's definitely a tax dude. A fair amount of tax dudes. I don't know about Korean tax dude. That's pretty specific. I feel like a lot of tax
Pretty
people wouldn't
niche.
want to call attention to their race.
That's on me.
That's on me, baby.
I don't know. I just watched a very topical episode of Atlanta about what we're talking about right now, but I don't feel like I can discuss it. So, anyways,
About what?
Spoilers here.
Gas and
no accountants.
Oh,
Just an episode where like
Donald Glover was
Uh,
a scientist in that one.
Paperboy wants a very specific type of accountant or a specific type of attorney.
It's a Martian in the Martian movie, right?
yes, he plays a scientist in The Martian. Man. The Martian.
Aerospace engineer.
I haven't seen that movie. I just know that he's in.
You haven't seen The Martian?
Mm-mm.
Haven't seen
Too
it
white
either.
for you.
Probably.
I really like space movies in general.
Yeah,
They're so fun.
sci-fi and fantasy are definitely.
I too, I saw that Brad Pitt space movie, and it was god awful. I can't remember what it was
A
called.
little bit more specific.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I can't name it.
I'm lost.
Interstellar. I waited a really, really long time to watch that movie, and it was so fucking good.
Yeah, it's one of the best Nolan movies ever, right?
For Nolan.
Top rated. I think by awards
Ad
alone, I
Astra.
think it got 3 amount of. Oh,
But Astra, yeah,
I've never
I
seen
watched
that
that. It was
Me either.
meh.
The movie was
I
so
feel
fun.
like
How do you
Brad
like-
Pitt wouldn't be a solid space guy.
Well, I saw in the trailer they're on like moon rovers on the moon shooting guns, and I was just like, I'm in. And then I watched the movie.
You son of a
and it
bitch,
was-
I'm in.
Yeah. I watched the movie. I don't know if it was the movie itself or the theater I went to go see it in, but I understood half the movie's dialogue. It was like so muffled and just,
Interesting.
I don't know. It was bad.
I watched it on like a streaming platform or something.
Yeah, I had no subtitles. So I was out there just raw dogging it. It's great.
Subtitles for life. Are we?
Me and Kyle went to go see Arrival. That's like I don't know if you can call that a space movie or
It's a
more
sci-fi
like a
movie.
It's about aliens.
Yeah, that was such like an interesting take on what an alien is.
100%. And also, you bring in
Did not see that shit coming at all.
time as well, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So.
I was real obsessed with time travel like a couple months ago. I listened to several like time travel multiverse type audiobooks. Interesting
Solid.
subject.
What did you gather from that? Did you learn that there are multiple things through string theory?
No.
Chaos
A lot of
theory.
it was like not I don't know how to describe it really. Not necessarily Groundhog's Day, but it's like somebody died and then they woke up and they're like way earlier in life than when they died, and then they get to live their life all the way through again. And in a couple of them, like they keep dying and resetting and living in, like kind of like Groundhog's Day, but like to a way longer effect rather than like just a day, like Groundhog's Life. Basically learned like if that happens, just start a new life, man. Like don't try to rekindle relationships with people because you're gonna sound like a nut.
That reminds me of that Andy Samberg. Well, it's not like that, but it is kind of like that. Andy Samberg.
Yeah, Palm Springs.
Yeah, Palm Springs. That was a really good
It was
movie.
really good. I liked it. Yeah,
Was that a movie or a show?
yeah, it was a
Okay.
Netflix movie or Hulu movie.
Yeah.
I really like
Movie, if you
almost everything Andy Samberg does. Like
I'm excited for
He's a
the.
extremely funny
Chip and Dale
dude.
I really
movie
liked when
that
Andy,
he's in.
Andy Samberg threw it on the ground.
Facts. That's not a cell
I
phone.
say happy birthday to the ground almost anytime somebody drops something, whether it's verbally or just in my head. Just happy
At least
birthday
20%
to
of the
the
time I see a cell phone,
ground.
I'm like, that's not my dad. That's a cell phone. What you think I'm stupid?
Sorry for starting this tangent,
Uh,
Drew. What were you saying about
cool.
the movie?
No, I was just saying he's in the new Chip and Dale movie, and it looks really good.
It does. look
Him
really good.
and John Mulaney.
You sent me that
and
trailer and
Seth
I'm
Rogen.
hype.
Yeah.
Is John Mulaney
Comes out in, like,
Madman?
16 days, right?
No, that's like John Stave. No.
No, that is John Hamm.
John Hamm. There's a lot of Johns out there.
The pretty normal
I'm
name.
thinking a top 10 most popular name in the world.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah,
Mohammed. It's the most popular name in the world.
I didn't say John was the most popular. I said a top 10, Kyle.
It's
Iba.
Muhammad. So
Yeah,
Is
Muhammad
that still
definitely the
true?
most.
I would guess, yeah.
100%.
I would assume so.
Because you got to think as white people progress, we're reusing names a lot less. We're getting things like
Well, they're also becoming the
Caleb.
minority.
I don't know what this
Ryan.
word shit is. All right, are you Mexican or not? Stick to a fucking script, bro.
Facts.
I didn't
Let's see
say
your bread or
we.
not.
Yeah, you did. You said a word.
So they're also becoming the
No, you
minority.
said where?
True, when you're editing this, you're going to hear me say there. So whatever.
Take back.
We'll find out because
This
he's
is
definitely going to
definitely
put it
not
in the
right.
group chat.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like he's gonna put it in the podcast.
Well, I mean, it's going to be in the
If
podcast
anything.
regardless.
No, never mind. I'm trying to Google. I literally Googled most popular name in the world, and this is 110% not right because it says top names over the last
Popular
100
and
years.
most common are not the same thing. Popular would be how much people like it. Most common would be
Yeah.
how many repetitions there are.
Well, see, even then, it gave me the same list.
Are you on the ad one? The ads shit is never right. People,
No,
because
it's,
anybody can pay to make
it's.
this
I think
shit
it's. I keep putting the world, but it just keeps giving me the U.S. because it's coming from the Social Security office. Because it's like James Robert John, Mariah Nushi Muhammad. That's most common names in the world.
Ryan
according to
is the most common name in the world.
Mariah Nushi. Sounds skeptical. I've never
Yeah,
met
when
a
you search it, it's
person
mainly just
named
like
Nushi.
baby names bullshit. I would probably say it's Muhammad though.
Like this is the list that I
The
found.
only reason I even ever say that is because that's what they say in Superbad. It's like, why would you choose Mohammed? It's the most popular. It's the most common name in the world.
I just shared my screen.
That
This
is
what this
definitely
website
Maria.
says.
No shot. You thought that was Maria.
Maria, yeah.
Yeah, Mariah. I mean, if there's, it's just missing an H. Kyle.
Also,
Yeah,
I feel
but
like
that's like someone's whole name. Nathan. Fucking
Natan.
Nathan.
The tan.
Four Bears knows
Settlers of Natan.
So yeah, like I feel like the variations of Muhammad shouldn't count. Like it's all still pronounced the same,
Yeah, so if you add all those
except
together,
for
that's
maybe
well above
this
any
one,
other
like
one.
Muhammad versus Mohammed.
I didn't think about Asian names either.
John's number 12.
Yeah.
yeah. I was
A-
gonna say it had
Asians
to be
hella
Middle
repeat
Eastern and
names.
Asian.
I had a boss,
Yeah.
and him and his two brothers were all named Muhammad.
That's super
No.
strange to me when you name more than one kid the same name. How's
It's because it's a spiritual
Narcissism.
name, I think, as well. So
Well, yeah, definitely. It's the prophet.
Way is number
So-
7.
well, what do? You just nickname all your kids? Like they're all named
Mo.
Mo,
by,
but-
like they went by their
M.
middle names. Yeah, one of them went by Mo. One of them went by Mirza, which was his middle name, and then the other one went by Abbas, which was what his middle name was.
That I don't understand. Like maybe I guess in that scenario where like there's like that scenario where you're naming your kids the same thing, so you call them by their middle name to differentiate them or whatever. But I've never understood the naming your kid and then calling them by their first, like their middle name, like off rip. It's just like make that the first name.
'Cause
Why
you-
is that the middle name?
Because you've never
It makes no.
you've never had kids. So a lot of it is like you got to think two people are naming the name, right? And so say before you got in a relationship, you had a very, very close relationship, like with your grandfather, and you said, and he died, and it was really impactful in your life, and you're like, no matter what, I'm naming my firstborn son John, right? And so
No, I understand that because that's how my nephew
I've got
is.
you, but you know,
Like-
what I'm saying, let me finish, is you get with your wife and she's like, I don't want to call our kid John. And so what you do is you compromise, you name him like John Alexander, right? And then you still get to live up to your promise to your fucking dead grandfather, but
I feel like that's a very specific case, but I feel like that's not every single fucking time.
I feel like it's
happen.
more or less like I don't have kids, but I assume it's just like what they respond to the best. I mean, I
Trouble
don't
names
know.
for sure.
Also, it's probably doesn't happen until they get older. I feel like because I wasn't Drew until first grade. I was Andrew up until that point. So
Yeah, but Andrew and Drew, like that's
if for whatever reason, what happened in first grade, if I was like, you can just call me Mark, then I'd be going by Mark until
that's what
now.
I'm saying. It's like that'd be different. But it's like getting from Andrew to Mark is not the same. I feel like as shortening Andrew to Drew.
Yeah,
like,
I'm saying what I'm saying is it's most likely what you're saying is weird. Probably happens further into the kid's life. I don't think it comes out and it's like your middle name's Marie. I'm gonna call you Marie. See, and then they just start calling her Marie. I'm sure it's like there's two
Yeah,
Elizabeths, and then she's like, I don't want to be called Liz. That's gross. Just call me by my middle name, Marie, and then boom, Marie. That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense as well. I can agree
Yeah.
with that.
Those are the two scenarios that I think that would happen. But I know like 4 people like that, right? That,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Maybe it's probably a white people thing. First of all, I
just know my yeah, it is for sure.
I have no. I don't. I don't try not to be rude to people in my comment, but I'm like
You're fucking lame.
no,
if you
just like
name your
hot take.
kid.
Like I don't see. I don't want to be fucking rude, but
Like, I do.
I don't see the honor in naming somebody after somebody else.
Oh,
In
yeah.
my opinion, right? I don't think it's dumb, and I don't think that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that I don't see the appeal of it. Right? No shame to anybody who does that. I'm not throwing out any shade.
Not saying I'm gonna do it, but if I name my son Thomas, it'd be so quick whenever he's doing dumb shit to be like Thomas, because it was just so common.
Facts.
Shut the fuck up. More on that. Sorry. I knew a kid named Andrew. His name was also Andrew. The reason why he went by Andrew is because it was his middle name, and his first name was Ashley, and he was embarrassed by it. So it's another reason.
Do you ever?
Yeah, I mean, like growing up, my best friend's name was Kyle, or that was his middle name, but his first name, and that's what we called him, is Kyle. But his name was Broderick.
But see,
Broderick's
that one
such a
totally makes
cooler
sense.
name.
Right,
Facts.
but if he hated it, right, because he got made fun of, I guarantee you that I doubt that they named him Broderick Kyle, and then they called him Kyle from the day he was born. I guarantee you that was a Drew situation where, he got to the first grade or second grade, and they were like, "Oh, your name is Broderick," and made fun of him. And then at some point in his life, he was like,
Kyle.
just call me
Can't do
Kyle.
this shit
Yeah.
no more.
Takes the first sip of his monster.
Broderick is dead.
It's my dead name. That was rude. I'm not gonna. That's a bad joke.
Eric, do you ever feel those
Like
who
a
don't know
plastic
listening?
bag drifting through this.
What? Oh, is that the
Katy
fireworks
Perry?
song? Yeah. Do you ever feel that I would feel a little bit robbed if I was named after like my dad, because like
100%.
I feel like
Yeah,
it kind of
100%.
takes away from your identity a little bit.
It's also super annoying because, like, growing up, like, if your mom's like Eric and she's calling for you and she's actually calling for your dad, like, that shit's so annoying. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'd got up out of bed, or I'd got up off a chair, or come from my room to the living room, and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, I was calling your dad." I'm like,
Ain't nobody talking to
"Yeah,
you.
well,
Take your
fucking
ass to bed.
specify that then, damn it." But yeah, no, it's super annoying. I mean, sometimes it's come in handy though, like if I've like picked up like a rental car, or
Yeah.
like just doing like outside adult shit where I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Eric Patterson." They're like, "Oh, okay, cool," and I'm like, "All right, cool, thanks."
So
That's
identity
the only
fraud.
time yeah, facts. But that's the only time like it's been like, "Oh, cool," but yeah.
Yeah. Like my dad's first son is also named after him. And it can my parents get frustrated with it in terms of like bill collecting type shit and stuff like that, just because they have the exact same name. Like, except they have different middle names with the same middle initial. So like
Yeah.
he still gets a lot of my dad's shit. My dad still gets a lot of his shit.
I got shit for my Subaru, like in TTA shit that they sent to Vegas. And I was like, I'm not fucking paying that. They didn't come to me. They didn't come to this house, so that's not my bill. Have fun with that. That's your bill.
I have terrible object permanence with bills.
Yeah. Same. I'd just be living
What do
day by
you,
day. You know. What I
that
mean?
mean you don't give a fuck whether you pay them or not? Is that what you're saying?
No,
What do you mean by
I-
object
It's
permanence?
just like, it's just I forget about them almost immediately. Like after reading it, if I don't pay it as soon as I get the email, or as soon as like I open it, as soon as I put away, it does not exist until I get another email being like, "Hey, what the fuck, man?"
I
Like,
never
my
forget
bad,
about it,
yeah.
but I always just convince myself that I'm going to do it later. Same thing with like appointments. Like I had a disappointment on Tuesday while we were in New
There's tons
Orleans,
of shit I can-
and they sent me like 7 reminders, and I was always just like, "Oh yeah, I need to. I'll do that this afternoon." I just never canceled it.
That's me with the dishes.
That's different though, right? Because like eventually the dishes are going to get to the point we can't live with it. Whatever that point is, like there's a point at all of our at least sane people here, right? The dishes will get to a point that we would do them, right? In my opinion, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe crazy,
No,
but
for sure.
I feel like,
Like I do my best to do my dishes like as I create them, like usually when I'm cooking and shit. Um, but like I'm pretty bad about cleaning my cups. I feel like.
I think that's just a man thing. It's like the
I
cup
only drink water
argument.
out of cups, so I almost never wash mine because I just keep reusing them. Unless I eat something dirty like wings or something.
I drink juice and
Fair.
shit. So.
But I have 3 catalysts for me, right? So when it breaks the top of the sink, it starts to annoy me. When it starts to smell, it starts to annoy me, and I do it. Or if usually the first time is not enough, but the second or third time when I go to get a certain type of dish, like whether that be a certain, like I like certain type of bowl, like I have different like shapes of bowls, and so like I have go-to cereal bowls, right? The fatter, shorter ones, right? And so if I have to use one of my taller, deeper bowls for cereal, like I'm annoyed, right? So that happens like twice. I'm just like, I'm just getting the fucking dishes, so I have to use these high-ass bowls for my fucking cereal.
That's wild. Our tall and deep bowls are definitely my cereal bowls. That's
Short
the best
fatties for
cereal
me.
bowl, bro. No,
Short fatties for you, huh?
But I also, do you drink your
Shut up.
cereal milk?
I don't.
Kyle, those are just called chodes.
Depends on the cereal, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I'm eating cereal, it's going to be shitty cereal that I want to drink the milk after. I'm never out here drinking special.
I actually really
K.
want to, not a sponsor, but I do really want to try that Magic Spoon shit. I hear about it so often that like it's like a different podcast where it's like healthy cereal that tastes like the shitty cereal.
That's what they say.
That's what they say about
That's
everything.
what I'm saying.
It never 9
Like
out
a
of 10
subscription.
You'll have
times,
no
so,
idea that this is good for
Well,
you.
they have like
it's super
they also
fucking
like I think
expensive.
their thing is if you don't like it, they literally have a return policy where like you can return it.
Yeah,
for
who the
whatever
fuck is
reason.
returning cereal though?
Facts.
I don't know. It's a
probably $10
subscription
for
service,
$4.
so it's
Oh.
not like that's why like it's pretty easy to return. And also, I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
what they said
return.
about your
By
graphics
return,
card.
I mean refund. Hey, I got it. I don't think I posted it. Hey, anybody want to buy a graphics card? Hit me up.
You should throw some specifics if you're being serious.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna promote that.
You literally just did.
Yeah, it was a slight joke. I didn't want to.
I mean, I got no shit here. I'm just telling you, like, someone's gonna be like, "Well, I wish I knew what type of graphics card it is." It's a 3070, guys.
In case you wanted to know.
It's a dual RTX 3070.
didn't grow up eating cereal or breakfast really at all, so I never really got the. And
I
I hate
didn't-
milk, so
I didn't eat
Maybe
breakfast
you would
growing
feel
up.
different if you grew up eating breakfast.
Monday through Friday.
No, like, sorry, go ahead, go.
I just stating I didn't grow up eating breakfast Monday through Friday, but my dad would
Yeah.
make breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays.
If I got breakfast Monday through Friday, it's because like I got to school early. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a chicken sandwich at 8:00 in the morning.
I grew up
My-
eating breakfast like in my early childhood, but like I think to the point where like I got into like 8th grade or high school, I was just like, I'm gonna sleep until I can't anymore. And
Breakfast food is I mean same,
Sleeping
but
over
breakfast food
everything.
is genuinely one of my favorite foods, like food groups, I guess if you want to call it that. And
Food genres.
growing up, we went to a lot of like Mexican, like hole in the wall Mexican restaurants, and they like a lot of those places. I don't know if they still do. It's been a while since I've been to one, but all those places do breakfast all day, so I would just be steady getting chorizo and eggs.
I would say that
That's just
there's not a doubt in my mind that over half, if not closer to 75%, of all of the times that I've eaten cereal in my life have been sometime between like noon and 3 a.m. Like it is not breakfast time that I'm eating
Yeah.
cereal. Like if anything, I treat cereal almost like a dessert. So if I want something sweet, like I'll eat a bowl of Reese's Puffs, right? Or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, I buy it with the intent to eat it before work, so I like eat something before work. But and it's always like a
Midnight.
just
Mhm.
snacky.
I feel like
Oh yeah, I got them Frosted Flakes over there, or I got them Captain Crunches.
almost
Got to
always
fuck up my mouth.
a nightly
Captain
thing
Crunch is an
too.
S tier cereal.
But what's the most
Captain
S
Crunch?
cereal? What's
It's
the
an S-tier
most
cereal,
S tier?
100%.
S tier. What is
Reese's
the most
Pieces
S tier?
is my top right now.
Fruity Pebbles
Fruity
are
Pebbles for sure.
a banger.
My biggest
Cocoa
problem with
Puffs as
Fruity
well.
Pebbles is you have to. I like really big bowls of cereal, right? So I eat probably too much cereal in servings, right? Like it's not. It's way
no
too much
problem.
cereal. It's not what you're supposed to eat.
Especially as an adult. I mean, like, it's probably different for you because you share, like, I mean, I share a house with other people, but we don't really eat each other's, like, groceries like that, except for, like, specific things. So, like, when we buy stuff like cereal is usually just going to be ours. So, like, I just eat obnoxious amounts of cereal when I do eat cereal.
No, but the thought process behind where I'm getting at is like something like Reese's Puffs is it takes a lot longer to get soggy, right? So if I'm eating an obnoxious bowl of Fruity Pebbles, right, by the end I'm just eating mush,
Yeah, for sure. You got 5
which
minutes.
is you got to eat it quick.
Max. 5 minutes to eat a bowl of
I guess
Fruity
that's
Pebbles.
right.
That's like Pops.
My
Like
favorite.
I don't hate Pops, but you got to eat it like immediately.
Gotta have my Pops.
It's got to be quick.
The slogan. Do you that and like honeycomb? You had to eat those.
I was never a
almost
honeycombs
immediately.
person.
Me either.
They're okay. I feel like they were just different shaped Pops, flavor profile wise.
But yeah, I feel like you got Fruity Pebbles and you got Twix or not Twix. Is it Twix? Twix.
Tricks.
Kicks. What's the one shaped like little fruits?
Tricks.
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 Right? And I feel like
Yeah,
the
so
flavor,
Crush
the
Tricks.
palate, the
I mean,
palate.
Twix is right if you have an R. Whatchamacallit. Sorry.
I feel like the flavor is the same, right? Like if you mush them into the same shape, I feel like
Definitely the same concept.
Right,
It's
so-
it's a different flavor, 100%.
Better mouthfeel with the Fruity Pebbles.
yeah, that's like a consistency thing. I'm just talking about the flavor of the cereal.
I
would
don't
have to, I would
remember
have to do a
Trix.
test.
Yeah, I don't remember how
But
Trix
see-
tastes.
That's what I was saying. In my mind, they were always
We'll
the
get into that in
same,
the live episode.
and so I would prefer Trix over Fruity Pebbles, right? Because in my mind they're the same thing, so I'm gonna pick Trix.
I never got chocolate cereal. I think that's weird. I think that's
I love chocolate
almost
cereal.
too sugary.
If I did,
Reese's
it was
Puff is the
Cocoa
only one I
Puffs.
ever
Cocoa
got.
Puffs
Like I never did.
Reese's
What
Puffs.
was the Count Dracula one?
I never did those.
Chocula. Yeah, I was never into those.
I never did the like Cookie Crisp.
No, I never
I
did
fuck
Cookie
with
Crisp.
Crisps.
I pretty much stayed to like the basics.
Oreo-O's.
But I
Bangers.
wouldn't want to put them in milk.
Oh, I remember those being good.
Oreo-O's were
But I
fire.
like.
I recently, I fuck with Cinnamon Toast Crunch pretty heavy.
Yeah, who doesn't?
And I recently was walking by like the cereal aisle at the store, and I saw that they make French Toast Crunch now.
Yeah. They make a lot of stupid
So
shit
between
now.
cinnamon toast and French toast.
Great question,
It's
Kyle.
just
One's more bready.
Cinnamon.
One of them, they definitely have to have cinnamon. Are they just
One
thicker
is shaped
breads?
like little. The French toast is literally shaped like little French toast.
So they're thicker.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Yeah,
no, I mean
they're
French
definitely
toast is like cinnamon and sugar.
also a different.
I think
and,
cinnamon
like,
is
egg.
just cinnamon, right?
No, I think it's cinnamon sugar.
I don't
Like a
think so.
cinnamon toast. Is
I mean,
like-
regular.
It's gotta be
I mean,
dipped
yeah,
in-
the regular
cinnamon
cinnamon,
toast is
toast crunch is
some-
definitely
But also, like, with
cinnamon.
oh, it's
cinnamon-
brown
With
sugar.
cinnamon toast, it's a toast. With cinnamon toast, I don't think you dip it in egg.
No, it's just brown sugar, butter, and cinnamon.
Not
Yeah, it's
cinnamon
better.
toast.
With
No,
French toast, it's dipped in egg, and then
French toast is dipped in egg.
yeah, and then it's
You
cinnamon
fry it.
sugar.
Which also cinnamon toast, I eat regularly.
I'm not a
that
big fan.
shit slaps.
I don't like fucking soggy bread. Count me out.
I love it. I mean, if I'm putting butter on my bread, I prefer. it
Yeah,
to
you're
be
supposed to eat it toasted.
soaked.
Yeah, I mean toasted. It's still soggy in the middle.
Not.
Do you just not like toast then?
Do you
Yeah.
Not
like my
what do
toast
what do you
doesn't
put on
get
your
You
soggy
eat
in the middle?
dry toast?
No, I butter and fucking jelly my toast. I just don't wait around 10 minutes for it to get soggy.
Then what's?
First of all, it gets soggy. Fucking 45 seconds stops.
You're making
Like,
some
it starts to
conflicting
get soft.
statements here. And I
I'm
don't
not making
appreciate
any
them.
conflicting statements. I don't like soggy bread and I don't eat soggy toast. So
Okay, so cinnamon toast. If you make cinnamon toast, why don't you just
don't-
eat
I
it
don't
at
make
the
cinnamon
same
toast.
rate that you would eat toast with
it's
butter?
soggy because
I
you
think you're
dip-
thinking. He's thinking of French
you
toast.
Dip French toast
He's-
in fucking eggs.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about cinnamon toast. They're just
I
talking about
thought
making
Nathan
toast.
just said French toast.
No, this whole conversation is about cinnamon
You
toast.
don't like French toast?
No, not a fan.
I-
like soggy
but
bread. That's what I just
when
said.
they're saying cinnamon toast, they're talking about buttered bread with cinnamon on it.
I could do that.
And brown.
That's what they're
sugar.
referring to.
I could do that.
I literally like have a specific thing
Place
in
of
my
French
cupboard,
toast.
a season thing that I dumped out whatever was in there and put a little mixture of that, so I can just do it really easy. Like
Easy
What's
like
going on?
Sunday morning.
Real quick question, since we're
it's
on
honestly
the.
like
Go ahead, Nathan.
I was just gonna say, like, when I haven't like purposely bought sweets, like it's definitely my go-to. Like, I want something sweet. It's like I've got bread and butter. This is gonna slap.
Yeah. Speaking of bread and a form of butter, what is the perfect peanut butter jelly ratio for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
1-to-1.
I disagree.
I disagree as
1-to-1.
well.
I say 70 30,
70-30
70 30, or 60 40 peanut butter to jelly.
Absolutely not. It's
You're
more
a
jelly
child.
than peanut butter.
No, bro.
Absolutely
See, listen,
not.
this is the thing, right? So you have your PB and J, and you have a lot of PB on there, right? Whenever you're eating the peanut butter, of course, it does what peanut butter does. It makes your like mouth feel congested. I don't know how to describe the mouth feel, but then you have that
cum mouth.
Yeah, cum mouth, cotton mouth. But you have those little pockets of jelly that lubricate the peanut butter experience that you're having to make it smoother, and it's also a sweet treat that you're getting in the slightly sweeter meal that you're already having.
Yeah, see, fuck that. I don't want
a
pockets
science.
of jelly. I want all jelly. Like I want a jelly in every bite. That's how
Yeah.
I want that. Every bite I want
100%.
that.
As
And my
somebody
argument,
that, like,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as somebody that like I have, that's like peanut butter and jelly is probably my favorite sandwich. Like, just because it's so simple, so easy,
Meh.
and so
I'm
accessible.
gonna have to disagree with you on
It's-
that one. If I'm trying to make,
it's just that's my favorite. So, anyways,
Oops.
I will eat it anyway. Like there are it's like a mood thing for me. There are some times where like I'm heavy with the peanut butter, and there are other times where I'm heavy with the jelly.
I think it's a convenience thing.
Whatever ratio Uncrustables, perfect. They could be bigger, but the Uncrustables ratio is pretty top on point. But I think that's kind of more peanut butter heavy because it's like inside the Uncrustable, it's like peanut butter on all sides with a pocket of jelly. So I would say that to Drew's credit, that's like 60-40 peanut butter and jelly.
I don't know. If we're talking about space, right, in the Uncrustable, I think that might even out more than you think it would.
Yeah, because it's a
If they're
thin
lining the
layer
entire
with a
side,
big.
For sure, there's definitely a
grouping.
volume.
is all jelly.
What was that, Kyle? One more time?
Volume-wise, I think it might be 50-50.
I'm gonna type in cross section of a crustable or uncrustable.
But also,
I tried to make my own the other day by just
I feel-
fucking smashing a cup on top of my peanut butter jelly and cutting around the
And it's
edges.
definitely more peanut
Wasn't the
butter than
same.
Joe. Oh no.
See?
I don't
Like,
think we're
it's
gonna
on
get a
both sides.
definitive answer on this, guys.
Hold on, I have the patent right here. Hold up. It's
Sure,
definitely
that's
more
all.
peanut butter than jelly. It's definitely more peanut butter than jelly. I'd say it's
Also-
60-40.
Is that patent like specific to just like to size? Like, if I wanted to just start making bigger Uncrustables,
I don't know how
patents
patents work.
Jelly.
I do not know how patents work. So
That patent's probably pending on the idea.
But
That's
it is
the new Batman,
patented.
huh?
Right, like
They low key patented the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Robert
Low
Pattinson.
key.
That's some fine bros trying to patent
That's some
reaction type
finesse.
shit.
But I've also had off-brand Uncrustables, so
A word?
oh yeah.
Are they squares?
No, I think they're circles.
Are they
It's
circles?
so maybe the patent's just on the name.
I'm just
I
saying
bet
they
the
need to
patent
make
is on the
Uncrustables
name
bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they do slap. I used to be so jealous of all the fucking.
Be throwing some honey in there sometimes.
They're so expensive though.
Why is
You can't
this?
just be looking up jelly pockets on Google, bro.
No, okay, right. So right now, in my Google search is cross section of Uncrustables, and there's a cross section of a cyst within the mix of this. It's
It looks
grossing,
like
but I can't look away.
Maybe it's like crustacean.
Cyst
Maybe I-
excision. But it's in the popping subreddit, so it's fitting.
Gross.
Hashtag
that's
Cuddy.
probably, is it like the tag like for
It looks like an
Uncrustable
Uncrustable.
That's why it's there.
Oh, it's gross. Well, I don't want Uncrustables anymore, so
The
that
thing
works.
the thing that about Uncrustables is kind of the same thing I have with a lot of stuff like oatmeal cream pies and stuff like that. I don't buy them because no shot I'm popping one, right? I'm eating 3.
Oh no, I eat 2 at a time for sure.
That's what that's me with certain drinks. Like sometimes whenever I go to a restaurant or something, I'll purposely get a drink that I like the least, so I'll drink it slower. and
Mhm.
Nathan has bought the cans of Brisk lemon iced tea, and I told him I was like, I
Bangers.
can't buy those because I'll smash it the first
That's an
24 hours that
underrated
I have
banger,
it.
I
I
think.
kind of like I bought it because it's underrated, but it's also because like I knew I wouldn't drink it super fast.
Oh, I will.
I don't fuck with tea that heavy. Like that's pretty much the only
If it's
that and Snapple
ice
are, like,
cold.
my favorite.
Yeah, no, if it's ice cold, because like my uncle, when I like would spend the summers over at my grandma's, he would have a cooler full of sodas in the garage, so we could all grab some. And whenever I grabbed the Brisk iced tea, I'd open it, I would take 3 large gulps, and it was done. And like,
You would turn into a snowman.
bro, 100%.
True, great
Remember those
commercials.
commercials?
Those are
Classic.
great
That was one of
commercials,
the things me and Eric talked about on our vacation, like the downfall of commercials.
The Brisk snowman guy?
Commercials
No,
in
it's the
general. We were talking
downfall
about
of
like
commercials.
because we
And
were
music
watching a
videos.
lot of the NBA finals and the NHL playoffs,
Oh.
and so
Dude, 90s and like early 2000s commercials were fucking unhinged and chaotic as hell. And it was fantastic.
we were talking about music videos too,
watch-
how they fell off, like how they used
Yeah.
to
I'm
be.
thinking of like that
It's all about
Doritos
product placement
commercial
now.
where they fucking were in an office and they like threw that guy out of like an office building. And he like
That's a meme.
fucking roll his ass out.
What if we
I
do this?
regularly like I have that Orbit commercial stuck like permanently stuck in my head, which is like, you liquor.
Pickle you, kumquat. Yeah. I think it's an all millennials.
No
heads.
shot. There's definitely an outtake of her saying liquor that's not appropriate for this podcast.
I mean, is clit liquor not appropriate? I think that's what it is.
The fucking like the
I-
Capri Sun commercials where they were basically turning into like Terminator metal and just like flying around.
Solid
And shit.
for sure. I mean, that was like probably pretty close to the era of Terminator 2, right? Early
No,
90s.
this definitely came out after. I feel like. Oh no, maybe because Resun's been a while or been around for a while.
I feel like that would have been like
Also, don't forget
Sweet
about-
Life of Zach and Cody type.
Jingles like Baby Bottle Pop was a banger.
Facts.
Fucking, I just saw a TikTok of it. You remember? We see it on like Nickelodeon all the time. The like that foam. It's like multicolored foam. The kid's like building a dinosaur, and it's like just a cardboard frame, and then it's like with this fun foam, and it's like he builds a body for it.
It was like
and she's,
goo with styrofoam, basically. In it.
Yeah, basically, it was like napalm.
Name
Now
tag
you
for
shit went
you.
up like
Commercials
that
are
too.
so dumb now. I hate them so much. It's like a
Oh,
middle-aged
change-
white lady
change
in
color.
khakis and a blouse, and like, we just want to be a good family. Here, everything is happy. Blah blah blah.
It's like, no, I want to see you bake a cake with like 6 different fucking things inside of it, and I want you to try to sell me that shit for $19.99 or like a couple different payments.
I'm also trying to see a Victoria's Secret model flash Terrell Owens during the Super Bowl, but I can't have that anymore because we're too woke. All right.
Thanks a lot, Justin Timberlake. You fucking bitch.
God damn. All right.
All
I
I'm
guess
saying
we
is you better rock your body. All right.
Daft Punk? Isn't that Daft Punk? All right, I'm gonna call it here.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening. This has been episode 22 of the SpaceBar podcast.
222.
2. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys listening every week. You guys make it worthwhile. I'm Drew.
It's true. I'm Eric.
Kyle.
Nathan.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.